And you're on. All set, Moina.
Okay, great. Can you hear me? I'm just worried about my video. Okay, there we go. Okay, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the City of Norwalk Public Library Board of Directors meeting, February 8th, February 9th, sorry, 2023, 7 p.m. via Zoom. Present are Patsy Brescia, Janie Williams, Ralph Bloom, Alex Knopp, Laurel Peterson, Sherelle Harris, and myself. Is there anyone from the public here who would like to make a comment?
No public comments.
Okay, so you've all had a chance to review the minutes. Are there any changes or edits? Okay, great. Like to motion to approve the minutes of January 12th, 2023. Make a motion. Anyone second?
I so move.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any additions to the agenda before we get started? Okay, so I'll get started with the board member update. I hope many of you have had a chance to look at your email. Sharon Benante is resigning from the board, and she's been in touch with me throughout the fall. She started a pretty big job and has been juggling a lot with her family. And so we've been talking back and forth, and I think she finally decided this was the time. So I would like just to, for the record, thank Sharon very much for her many contributions to the board over the last 3 years, especially through COVID. I thought she brought a really great perspective. And I will miss her. So
We all will miss her. Thank you.
So the next item is the Blue Teapot Cafe. I got a letter from Nihol today saying that she is closing the Blue Teapot Cafe. And the last day will be March 31st. And her reasons are almost entirely financial. They, you can imagine a cafe, a library cafe at that, through COVID. And, the traffic is still slow to be, I guess, what it was pre-COVID. And I think she just is going to cut her losses. And that she did send a letter also to the city. I think on her contract, the legal department obviously signed it, and so did Harry Brilling. So she sent the letter to him as well. And she is, she's requesting reimbursement, any kind of reimbursement for the personal investment that she put in to that space. So, I don't have much experience in this regard. I guess she will be working with the city on that. She, there's obviously, she did a bunch of things in that area. So, that does anyone have any questions or comments about that?
Well, the city did receive it, so I'm assuming since the contract was with the city that they will respond. And yeah, if I hear anything, I'll make sure I copy you.
Yeah, I mean, it was, the Blue Teapot was she wrote in her letter a response to the great desire of the residents of Norwalk to have a cafe in their library. And I hope as we plan in the future, we kind of keep that in mind. And I would also, for the record, like to thank Mihal Potts for creating a wonderful little space in the library for as long as it was there, and you know, taking a lot of care and effort in everything that she did. And you know, she's still very much, she's a friend of the library, and so we will be continue to work with her in that capacity.
So is it staying open, you said, till March 31st?
Yeah.
Mary Mann is connecting for the record.
There's also in the chat, something from Diane Loricella.
Oh. Oh, I guess there is somebody here. May I speak? I had my hand up, Sherelle.
I'm not running the meeting.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so I don't even see her. So
I'm looking too, because I didn't get anything from the city that anyone was.
hold on.
Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I don't see her either. Hold on, let me look here.
I'm just gonna respond to her and say,
She's in the attendees list rather than the panelists list. I don't know if that
Gotcha,
makes a
I see her.
difference.
okay,
There she
there
is.
you are.
Thank you, Laurel.
Sure.
Good evening, Madam Chair. May I speak? I guess there were some technical difficulties.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Diane. Please go ahead.
That's
It
okay.
was my fault. I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Diane Loricella, 21 Little Fox Lane. And I looked over your agenda and first wanted to thank you all for your service. I love libraries and I know all of you share that. I noticed in the agenda 3 things, and I know I only have a few minutes or less. The first thing is I didn't have a chance after seeing this agenda late last night, to reach out to Moina, Noor, or Sherelle's, but I would certainly, after this meeting, love to meet with you either on Zoom or in person in the coming weeks as you explore the capital and operating budget and the goals. As a goal, I am somewhat puzzled, but I'm sure everyone here, especially former chair, could answer this question. Under capital budget, I didn't see anything about building renovations. And my read on the Milligan lease is that it's up pretty soon. I don't know if it's next year. I was always in hope that there would be a major capital fund committee like they've had in Darien, Westport, other towns in our area, in order to build a fabulous, and there were great plans. I remember under former Chairman Knopp, there were plans and public meetings about what we would like our library to be. And I guess I'm just here tonight to say, what is the status of that? And I'm sure there is a lot of information. I have not begun digging in, and I don't think I'll have time to. Secondly, on the operating budget, well, under capital budget, the second thing I wanted to say is, as a patron of the library, I very much would love to write letters to Mr. Datchewitz and the council and the Board of Estimate about making sure that both libraries have terrific copying machines where the payment process is more modern, such as they have in Darien and some other towns. The folks in the reference section do their best to keep those current printing machines working, but I could just tell they don't say anything, they don't complain, but I could tell by the look on their face that they're very frustrated with them, and I am too. They're just, we as a big city deserve and should have more sophisticated system for prints. Lastly, on operating budget, it won't be a surprise to many people here, but of course, this particular building, but two buildings, both South Norwalk and the main library, use electricity to operate. I believe that we could use and create some of those electrons to, if nothing else, save money for the taxpayer. These buildings sit in the sun all day. The parking lots sit in the sun. And I am currently at odds with the current city building management department and the land use and building management committee of the Common Council. I don't believe we're optimizing the use of creating energy. Darien Library has geothermal heating its large building, the newer building, and that took work of citizens helping our city. Unfortunately, it appears still that this city does not seem to welcome citizens' input, such as mine. I am in the environmental business and I have given them for many years, many other people. And I wanted to tell you currently, the current appearance of the city's policy of not placing solar panels on roofs of old buildings is a wrong-headed policy, and I have proof of it. So I just ask that let's maybe look at the operating budget and across the board, look at using solar panels either on the roof or on the ground in order to offset your high electric bills. Thank you for all your work and have a great evening.
Thank you, Diane. Okay. Next on the agenda is governance, and I just want to say that we're still working on it. So we'll have more on that in the coming weeks. And we can move on to Sherelle's report.
Hey, hello again, everyone. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, so for the capital budget, basically here I've outlined the things that we asked for and just been provided an update. So one of the updates, so I just want to say the caveat, when Henry was working on the budget, he was working from not a current list. They had to stop somewhere. So, you know, he wasn't working from a current list. However, the Planning and Zoning Commission, they were working from a current list. So the Sono exterior lighting was moved into Guardian's budget. They've started doing a little bit of work to the existing lighting and plan to add more lighting, but that will come from their budget. And as we know, the planning and zoning review was on January 24th. So what was approved was the integrated library system upgrade. And for those who don't know, that's basically the system when patrons come in and they're looking for a book or they're looking for an item, and they go to the computer, that's that system. But there's also behind the scenes work that we use the system for as well. We definitely needed it because our current system is just old. It's 20 years old and it was time. So I'm really glad that that was improved. Our technology upgrades for the 3D printers was approved. That was actually requested last time, but we pushed it out. So it was approved for this year. And the newspaper digitization project was approved. They approved it in installments, not paying for it all at once.
I just want to clarify. I think these are the
Recommendation.
just recommendations from the finance office and not actually
Right. So
these are
yeah,
not
you're right.
set in
So
stone.
these are the recommendations, but these are the recommendations that the finance office approved. So this is not the final, so thank you for that point. So the things that were approved but pushed to the next fiscal year budget was the library van, which I really think we need for this year. The Baker and Taylor pre-processing was moved to the operating budget. Let's see, the business center was pushed to the next fiscal year, and the indoor and outdoor furniture for the main library were both pushed to the next fiscal year. The things that were not approved was the ADA compliant door handles. I did a walkthrough with Bill, and I can never pronounce his last name, but he's the new ADA person. We did a walkthrough yesterday with our building services crew just to go over all ADA needs. And so hopefully, I'm not sure if the city's just planning on doing something at some point, but they were not approved in our budget. Neither was the main library carpet. And again, the Sono exterior lighting was moved to Guardian's budget.
I'm sorry, Sherelle, but who's Guardian? I
Guardian is
apologize.
our building, no, that's okay. Guardian is the city's building management company.
Okay,
So they basically take care of like the HVAC and different things like that.
great, thank you.
You're very welcome.
So I think we need to discuss the next steps that we want to take as a board and the next process with the city to see if we want to push to get some of these items done today. For instance, the speaker earlier tonight talked about the copy machine, and that's part of like the business center. And and we're not in line with any of our surrounding towns. So it is, and it's a need. That,
It is, and I just want to
yeah.
say to that, I have spoken to Sharon in purchasing. So I guess the vendor, it's been a slow moving process, but we're at a point where we're starting to kind of bug them a little bit more, because I do agree with Diane that the machines are definitely dated and could do more. For instance, we would love the machines, and we requested machines that accept credit cards. So I'm on the same page.
And then also, I'm concerned about the carpeting on the main library as a safety issue, not simply as an aesthetic, but
Right.
as a safety issue. So
Mhm.
when you did the ADA walkthrough, was there any comments relative to the condition of the carpeting?
No, he does plan to come back. I heard from him today, and he does plan to come back and provide, the report. So it would come through for another walkthrough, but also to provide us with a report.
And I also think we really need to push for that van. I mean, how
Yes.
many years old did you say that the van was? I mean, and it was also
16,
60, yeah.
16. It was also pushed from last year's budget to this year. I think that the van is a real priority for us.
I'd like to speak on that too. I noticed, I don't know, I don't have the latest printout, but one that I did see stated that the van request was a new request. And I don't know how many of you, read the budgets, but that's noted, and it is not a new request. We requested it very strongly last year. And, it's now a year older. And so it's like 17 years. I don't know how many miles it has on it. But I think we need to go back for, some of these items and try to get them back in the budget recommendations.
And aside from speaking at public hearings, do letters from the board count? Are there any other ways in which we can push to rethink some of these?
I think all of the above.
Yes, I agree.
Any other questions?
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'd like to know how other people feel.
Mhm.
Oh, I definitely agree with you. Those seem like really key things to make the library functional and just kind of basically up to date. It's not like we're asking for anything, above and beyond necessities in any of that. I'm wondering too, doesn't Diane Lauricella has some sort of political pull, doesn't she? She seems like a name I've heard a lot. Would having
She's-
her write as well be useful?
Any public comment is always useful.
Okay.
And people contacting their representatives on the council, on the city council, and Alex, is Alex still with us?
Yes,
Oh, so what's your thought, Alex?
yeah, all those things are good to do.
So I don't know when the next meeting is on the budget. But we need to, do you know, Cheryl, by any chance?
Let's see, I don't have it committed to memory, but I did put it in the packet.
All right, it looks like it's March 3rd.
Yeah.
So the financial that presented their budget yesterday. And I did get a copy of it, but I haven't had a chance to study it.
Mhm.
But last year we didn't get some items. And number one was the project for South Norwalk Branch, the restoration, and we went back and fought for it and got it back into the budget. And now it's out to bid or about to go out to bid or wherever we are with it. But it's important for us to advocate for the library. And I think we need to be strong in that effort and go back to the city for what we need.
Sherelle, on the list that I have, there's one on the 23rd of February, a Common Council Finance and Claims Committee holds a public hearing. Is that the next one?
It's not on this one that she
No.
has.
No, it's not there.
Maybe that's the operating budget.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I don't see anything for the 23rd.
Yeah, I think it's the operating budget. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Well, can you double check it and let us know when we get it organized to?
Sure. So I think now would be the time if we are going to speak up and write letters. Henry's submitted his request, planning and zoning might have been late, but they should have submitted their requests by now. So before it goes to the common council, I think it would be the time. Now would be the time we're going to speak up.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, I can take the lead on writing a letter and passing it around so we can all sign it, so.
Or you can sign it on behalf of the board. I would make a motion that we authorize you to sign it from
Okay.
the board.
I'll second.
All in favor?
That's fine.
Aye.
Aye.
Ready to move on? Any other questions?
And I just want to make a point, Lori, Janie, maybe what time is Lori planning to attend the,
I told her to come in at eight, between 8 and 8:15.
okay, so we have, about 40 minutes.
All right, shall I move on?
Yep,
I'd
absolutely.
I'd like to make one comment. I know they postponed us having indoor furniture, but we really have got to get some armchairs in the public areas to help people get up and down from those tables. We all we have is plastic, and we do need some comfortable, easy chairs that people can easily get in and out of. It's very hard on a senior citizen when there's nothing to put your hands onto. Even if we check with City Hall to see by chance, there's always surplus furniture. We should see if we can at least get a half a dozen armchairs to go with what we have as a stopgap measure until we get what we want. But I do think we should look at what people need right now. We've discussed this before, and we
Yeah.
just putting it off. There may be a corporation out there that would have a half a dozen armchairs that they could donate.
Well, I'll definitely put it in the letter to, and I don't know if
Yeah.
Jarell, is someone in the city that we could talk to about.
But when you might send it to, everybody that's involved, the mayor, the common council, the board of estimate members, and the planning commission, to all of them.
Okay,
And Moana, one thing, we definitely in the past years tried to keep the costs down, thinking we were going to renovate, but our library is falling apart.
Right.
So that's a point that really needs to be made.
absolutely. Okay,
And so for the operating, I just refreshed, for your memory, the things that we did ask for, which were personnel requests, the custodian and the marketing and communications coordinator. And then non-personnel requests. This was all in your packet last month. This is just a reiteration. We are not at the point where they're speaking on the capital budget. Let's see. I'm sorry, the operating budget. But I think, and I'm sorry. Oh, you know what? This sort of was I'm sorry, my screen is thrown off. But I think we should basically, start. Well, I guess we just have to wait and see what their recommendations will be. And let's see. So Thursday, February 23rd, the Common Council Finance and Claims Committee holds the public hearing. So we may want to bookmark that date. And so the aquarium update, we have the plaque up. Vicky ordered it and Mark put the plaque up today. And it looks really beautiful. They're slowly adding the fish, and John thinks it'll be another month before all of the fish are in. And at that point, we wanted to have some type of press around the new aquarium. And I don't know how many people had a chance to see it, but it's absolutely gorgeous.
Looks
And the
fantastic.
Pardon?
Just fantastic. It looks just fantastic
It really does.
and very striking, when you come in.
Mm-hmm. And already, the kids standing around and the curiosity and the conversations.
I witnessed some of that. It's really that is really the best when you watch the kids really looking behind every rock for the fish and which ones, that's just the best. Yeah.
It really is. And so we're ordering books, on saltwater fish. So it's, everything is coming along.
I just want to, I also, on the aquarium, as I was rereading the minutes from last time, I just want to just bring up again the agreement that we need to get into with Randy for maintenance.
Yeah, he doesn't have any, thank you for that point. He doesn't have anything with others, but he's putting one together for us.
Okay, great.
So thank you for bringing that up. Okay, there's one fish that we caught that likes to hide. And the shrimp, the cleaner shrimp. And so, but each day, you know, he'll add more and more. So in a month's time, it should be fully operating. The Sono repurposing project. So we had the bid, we had the walkthrough on February, I believe, February, next Tuesday. You know, we'll meet to see how many people have bid on the project, and next steps will be, once the bids come in, to go through them and see, you know, which one will work out better for us. So we're almost there.
When will the bid opening be at City Hall?
It's the bid, it's already, so, you know, people can bid on it now through.
No, the bid opening, when they bid, when are the bids to be received?
By next Tuesday.
And they're going to be opened on Tuesday, the bids.
The bids are already, they've already opened it.
Oh. So you're talking about
People
accepting
now
which, but
Yep, so we don't have much
Okay.
time, yeah. And I put a link in the packet last month so that everybody could follow and you can see the process for the bids. This wasn't on the agenda, but just a quick thing, the Access Services Manager has been posted internally. I'm not sure if I don't think it's hit they usually post it internally for a week, and then it goes to the paper. So I just, you know, put the job description in. And so I think that is it for. Yep, for the staffing update. So the rest of the packet is just, you know, staff reports. We will go to Land Trust, I believe it's next month on the first Wednesday, which will be
I think it's March 1.
March 1, yeah. So after the bids come in, basically I put together a report, just a reiteration of the approval, you know, what's taken place and the people who bid, and then the recommendation from the committee, you know, the one that we select. So that'll take place on March 1st, and Moina will attend as well. And so goals, I'll just quickly go through goals. I'm just going to switch screens here.
Sorry, what's happening March 1st? I didn't quite hear.
That's the Land Use Committee.
Okay,
And we always have to go, whenever there's a capital budget, we usually just, you know, go to them. It's basically, we just reiterate what we asked for. At that point, we will have looked at the people who bid and have made a choice. And then that would just be our way of letting them know our selection. Let's see. So just quickly, no request for time. So this is just the process used as we go through like our goal process, but I really want to have a chance to have supervisors have input. So I'm just going to go through some preliminary things. So just quickly, Norwalk is in Connecticut Library Association's Region 4, mainly with the surrounding libraries, Bethel, Monroe, other libraries. So just so you know that we're in that region. What I did also, I put together just a list of some of those, well, most of them, not all, just as mainly the cities that are similar to us, and then the surrounding cities, just to sort of look at their profiles. and, you know, their population, and I don't know if you can see, and their ethnicities. Last year, I shared the comparison of many of these libraries side by side with Norwalk. I put together, I wanted to see pre-COVID use. So I have the pre-COVID use. We're now looking at the post-COVID use as well. So I should have that. Actually, I have it. I have to put it together and compare. And again, I want to talk to the supervisors about it so they can have input before I give a full report. But the vision will have a four-pronged approach: resident input, city alignment, and the community services alignment as well. And community services department heads will undergo a strategic planning process as well under Lamont's leadership. The other would be the library associations alignment, board staff input, and then our community partners. So Mayor Rilling, they'll undergo a strategic plan, but he also, you know, had a plan for Norwalk. Let's see. So his, with the economy, with education, equity, and efficiency, and environment and sustainability. So, you know, how can we work and partner with his goals as well? The American Library Association, the Public Library Association, the Connecticut State Library Association. I know the board has wanted to work with Norwalk Public Schools. That was one of our strategies, but also with Norwalk Community College as well. So having a crosswalk and alignment with these agencies is a goal. So some immediate things that I would like to do is to reinstate passport service, revamp our website and add flipbook software. And again, strategic planning with the community services administrators. So how has Norwalk changed pre-COVID versus post-COVID? So Cindy Leahy gave input how it's changed for the adult department. So she says many patrons access our streaming video, music, and download reading materials more so. And it's necessary to offer programs via Zoom for those who are still uncomfortable attending programs in person. And just so you know, it looks like the part should come in. For our capital budget, we had requested to have upgrade in our technology and our auditorium. So it looks like that work should be done in May or June. So we will be able to offer the hybrid programs. And also, she stated that the usage of the Norwalk History Room has expanded drastically post-COVID. And for our children's services, Vicki Otis stated that we see far more families with children ages 4 and younger at programs. They're always looking for social activities like story time. However, it's been a lot harder than it has ever been to get school-age children in for programs. We still offer Zoom, you know, like trivia and paint night. So that will be a goal to figure out how we can get the school-age children back into the library. In general, books being requested by middle school kids is getting easier. They used to see many checking out the big fantasy books, and the requests are now more for the younger readers, even in 4th and 5th grade. The kids still love to read, but she thinks that the learning loss they had missing so much school is very important, you know, for us to reach out to the 1st through 3rd grade children. She says in general, people are adopting a slower pace. You know, they come in, but they aren't looking for a lot of activity Parents are happy to sit and chat while the children play board games, or they're in the kitchen or they're coloring. They aren't seeing the same families come in every day, like they've gotten used to being at home. And then a fourth thing is that DVD checkouts went down drastically. Families moved to streaming and kids are very familiar with YouTube Shorts and other services. So, once we, the staff will meet, put everything together, and then I'll have a comprehensive report, that won't be just from me, but from our entire, supervising staff.
Did we get a copy of this,
Yeah,
Sherelle?
yeah,
We did. Oh, okay. I couldn't find it.
No, I
well,
can send
but
it.
could we get a hard copy? I cannot deal with this on this way because I like to study things and mark
Mhm.
them up and have them as reference when I need to look at them.
Sure.
So if you could print them out and mail it to, I would like a hard copy. I don't know about
Okay.
anybody else, but
Okay,
I'm the only one.
Oh,
I'm
no.
sure you're not.
No.
I mean, I think this is not, this is, you're just, this was not in the packet though, was it?
No.
No, this was not in the packet.
Because
Oh,
it's-
that's what
it's
I was
not
asking.
Comprehensive, so,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm just
But
giving,
even so, it's so much great information that we should be able to study it and absorb. And
Well, I mean, it's preliminary, but there are so many pieces here that are going to be there, and there are little like big themes and smaller things that are a little surprising, and they're all going to be very, very important as we move forward. All of these
Right.
in of our, building up our strategic plan and building plans for the future. So it's great to see all that. I especially would love to see how we can kind of mirror some of the city's goals. I think that
Yeah.
the city's goals and the library's goals are very much, they seem to me very aligned. They should be very aligned.
I think there's more, like we can do more with like the workforce housing, although I have to give a shout out to Valentina Kramer, who does a phenomenal job behind the scenes with the job coach and, different things like that. But I know the city is really moving toward, obviously equity and diversity, workforce housing. So there's a lot that to unpack here from Mayor Rilling's suggestion.
so you're going to send it to us, right? A
I
hard
most
copy.
certainly will, and
Okay,
you're going
thank
to
you.
get a hard copy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So that's it for me.
Great. Thank you, Sherelle. That's a lot of work.
It is, but there's
Yeah,
more
yeah.
work to be done, and I can't wait to hear, what the supervisors have to say. So, I'm gonna give each of them like, a piece of this to bring back to the table. But I think we're going to, this is a good start, of course, but once they give input, because they're the people who are out there with everyone, I think this is gonna be, it'll be a phenomenal plan.
Great.
Okay, so I think we
I'm
can
sorry,
probably-
Mark, I'm sorry, just Cheryl, what's the title of the document again?
So this is basically just a preliminary goals.
Okay. If you wanted to send me a link, I'm glad to come and print it out myself. You don't have to print it and mail it to me, but if you send me a link.
There's not a link, but I can send you the document. So there are links though within. So Patsy, that's one concern I have.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, that's all right. We'll have it. Send it, email also, but I'd like a hard
Hard
copy.
copy. Okay, perfect.
Okay, so so I think we can if there
I'm
are
sorry, let me stop.
Are there any more questions or any comments, final comments?
I have a comment, not on this, but in general. I'm sure some of you read the Norwalk Hour today and saw the amazing article on the New Canaan Library. And I'm so jealous.
I know, those pictures are so
Yeah,
killer.
and I would hope that we could schedule a tour of the New Canaan Library soon so that it can help us be inspirational for us to get our project
You-
reactivated.
Like taking the words out of my mouth. That was what I was
Mm.
gonna say too about, let's go on another field trip.
Right.
And is everybody game for that, to go to the
Oh,
New
yes, for
Library?
sure.
Okay. And maybe sometime in I think they're opening on the 14th. So maybe sometime in March or so, we can schedule some time to go over and look at it. The pictures were really, really
Oh,
impressive.
They were
Yeah.
yes.
Beautiful.
All the natural lighting. Wow.
And so much beautiful seating, Ralph. Did you see it? I kept thinking of you. I was like, oh,
I-
Ralph would love the seating.
Look very comfortable.
So, okay, so I can work to arrange that. So we can go. And maybe, Sherelle, do you know the director there? Maybe we can have her give a
Come to one of the
tour.
meetings, yes.
I know the woman who ran their capital campaign too, so I can see if I can reach out to her too.
Maybe we should ask Mr. Lamont to join us.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Like any of the city hall.
Exactly. Jessica. any of them.
Yeah, if Jess or anybody wants to join us. Okay, sounds good. And thank you, everybody. I think we'll take well, no, let's just move on over into the foundation.
We can't.
Need to make a motion.
Shut up.
You can't do that. You have to close this and open up the foundation.
Oh, well, the foundation meeting opens at 8, I think, so we'll have to wait for
So we
that.
have 10 minutes to use the bathroom, get some water. Or
Yeah.
something. Or actually 8 minutes.
Moina, there's one thing I would like to bring up.
Mhm.
I've been working on seeing that our lower level gets cleaned out. We still have a few remnants. We have some cabinets which are not in use. They used to house the CDs. The library has reused a good part of the set, but now we have about 5 leftovers that there's no need for them, but they do have to be disengaged from the wall in order to free them up. And we could probably find takers for them. There's just be more obsolete furniture out of the way.
Ralph, may I make a request? You say these things to staff and then you mention them in the meeting, but you don't come directly to me to even mention these things. So it's helpful, like if you can let me know as well.
Well, that goes both ways. You threw a beautiful plant out today that I donated to the library. You never bothered to ask. You
I
didn't.
didn't know that you donated. From my understanding, when I was asking who donated it, I was told that it was the Norwalk Garden Club.
No,
But you can always have it back if you like.
no, once gone, gone.
I mean, it's a staff member who has it, so if you want it back, more than happy to give it to
Oh.
you.
My concern now is to keep the lower end cleaned out of the library and get rid of obsolete furnishings that we have.
This is, this is really not a discussion that we should be having here as a board. I mean, this is staff in processes, and you do need to do that together, and it's
But property comes under the jurisdiction of the board.
management. You start with management, Ralph, and I just don't think it's appropriate for us to be having to discuss this in our time before it is an issue. So it gets resolved and it's done. If it's not resolved, then it's an issue for the board. But at this level, I don't think it's appropriate. And I resent spending my time on these kind of issues.
Well, again, if we had our governance to know where you go to get permission. I mean, I cleaned out chairs and things and got rid of that much material out of the lower level. I'm trying to keep the library looking as decent as possible.
But you need to talk with Sherelle and you need to come up
Yeah.
with a plan.
With that said, I just want to invite everybody to come into the library. Not only did we clean out the back entrance, the front entrance is now not as cluttered. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's free of lots of just extraneous things, and it's a lot more welcoming. So I hope everyone will notice when they walk into the front, the building, the Mott Avenue entrance.
There has been a lot of work done over the fall and winter in cleaning up the building. And Ralph, please, if you have any further requests, if you could just go to Sherelle and work on them, that'd be great. Okay, so I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Yeah, second?
Aye. Favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right?
Okay, see you at 8 o'clock. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye,
Bye.
thank you.
And we have time.